So I'm gonna take this down to 4. It loves it. 3. It loves it. It will get out of its way in a hurry. Hey, Blue.
Hey, you driving?
Yep, I'm almost back at home base. I was just voicing some ideas out about my 4th year anniversary with this car. And you remember the date, Blue?
January 9th?
13th.
Oh, January 13th?
Yep, that'll be this Saturday.
So what are you doing?
So just kind of, you know, like creating like a list of the top things I've learned and experienced with this car. And what's that?
So you're gonna blog about it or something?
Hey everybody, we got a rainy one here in Michigan today. My name is Reggie. Thanks for clicking on this video. On my channel, I feature my 1980 Mark VI and my 2020 Mustang GT. This is a significant moment as I'm now approaching my 4th year of ownership. So I just want to take a moment real quickly to kind of like share some things that I've experienced while I'm making an errand real quick. And I don't know, things that you might find helpful, but overall, it's just an adjustment for any car you have over a period of time. I've got 26,314 miles at this very moment. And I haven't had any problems. Basically, I've had a couple recalls. They were all electronic, you know, ECU updates or whatever computer programming that's necessary. But basically what I want to kind of go over is some simple things that you may have an interest in that I've identified while owning this vehicle. So like, for example, 87 versus 93 octane. I'm usually running 89 majority of the time. Every now and then I'll increase it to 93. If the pocket's a little short, I might have to go, unfortunately, to 87, but it's not a problem because in the manual, that is the standard octane for this vehicle. But on the audible side of things, I notice that when I'm running on low octane like 87, my cold starts are louder, longer, just more vibrant. When I'm running on 93, I'm just a little more calmer, it's shorter, it idles down quicker. There's a slight horsepower change, maybe about 10 horses, I don't know, it's a small percentage, going from the low octane to the premium. Let's see, gear shifting. Only when the car is cold, you may have a bit of, you know, an adjustment in your first to second and maybe even up to third gear. But once you've got the transmission warmed up, they are real smooth. I don't know, that could be the case for other cars too, but for this car in particular, with this MT82 transmission, I mean, really, I've gotten so used to it that I don't even consider it an adjustment period, but I do know that it's a lot smoother engaging from 1 to 2nd gear to 3rd gear once the transmission is warm. Speaking of warm, tires. This car does not have a spare tire, so I'm constantly checking my gauge, my tire pressure gauge. So like right now, they're pretty much like 32, 33, they're kind of ranging. I haven't been driving that long, so as I, you know, get the tires warm, they all equal out. You can expect a 5-pound increase throughout your overall drive. You'll see that happening more when you're like maybe 50 degrees or lower. Let's see. Warming up tires are also important because right now I'm traveling in the rain, so you kind of want to take it easy anyway. But if you want to have higher acceleration, you want to make sure your tires are warm. That way you won't get any kick out, you won't get squirrely in the rear end. In addition to that, you need to really check your adrenaline anyway to make sure that you don't get too excitable while you're out here, because a lot of cars, they want to challenge you anyway. So if you have that way about you where you're at the red light and you want to take over someone, or you know, just want to, whatever your objective is at that moment at the red light, make sure your tires are warm, because yeah, it makes a difference. I think on almost any tire tread, and even width. It's just smart to have them warm before you do any aggressive acceleration. The stock exhaust. This is a 2020, and it's got quad tip exhaust. You know, I think around 2018 they introduced the quad tip, and they had an extra feature called active exhaust. In all these 4 years, I'm gonna be honest with you, I've really not come across a real defining difference between a standard stock quad tip and an active exhaust. I just so happen to have the stock exhaust, and I'm really impressed with it. I mean, it's a very you know, solid, you know, rumble, kind of like it's there. I mean, you can hear it. It stands out. So I don't think there's a pretty great difference between the active exhaust quad tip and the stock exhaust quad tip. But again, let me know in the comments, really, what is your experience in that? Because I've looked for videos all over the place and for examples, and really, it's just like there's an actuator in there that opens and closes that really, to me, just seems like it just quiets the exhaust, whereas the stock exhaust is more or less wide open. So, all right, oil consumption. Oil consumption, even after 26,000 miles, I still do deal with checking my oil regularly. Every 3,000 miles, I'm probably putting a quart of oil in this car, which when you're in the dealership, I'd really recommend just remind them this generation and this version, you know, the GT 5.0 takes 10 quarts. So, but again, I'm probably going through about 1 quart every 3,000 miles. Sometimes you can get full synthetic and they'll give you like a 7,000-8,000 mile oil change interval. It really depends on your driving experience and your conditions. You know, if you're really going through like an industrial area where there's a lot of construction, you're going to get a lot more contaminants getting into the air filter, you know, mixing in with the whole system, and so you're probably going to want, for stop and go traffic, to change your oil more frequently than what they recommend. And again, the manual talks about synthetic blend. I maintain going with the 5W20 my whole ownership, and the only thing I've kind of gone back and forth on is it being full synthetic or blend. So yeah, I mean, I really had a good experience with this car. I've become one with it. And I still feel that, really, in all honesty, when you get closer to 50,000 miles, you really feel the car through and through, undoubtedly. Any question about the car's behavior. But I mean, I've owned several cars over the years, so I've done well over 100,000 miles in every one of my cars. And so I kind of know, you know, it does take you quite a bit of driving to really be one with the car, but because this is a manual, you're engaging anyway. So you're more likely, you're listening more to the car, you're more in feel, so chances are you can get a better connection with a manual transmission car earlier than 50,000 miles. And some people don't even keep their cars for 50,000 miles. So I know that might seem a little bit extreme, but this is a 301A, so I got a few toys in here. Nothing over elaborate. I actually like these analog gauges. It's like, I feel that analog gauges with a manual just seems more organic. Like it's really what really is the way it's supposed to be. I mean, I am impressed with all the digital screens, even in the S550 versions. I've sat inside and I've seen the 2024 S650, and that screen is more integrated into the dashboard than you would imagine. I mean, it looks like big slabs just sticking off the dashboard, but it's not. It's quite integrated. All right, well, I'm almost at my destination, so thanks for tuning in. Check out the other videos on my channel. I have quite a few classic Mustang videos, different kinds of historic things about all generations of the past, and other experiences I've had with my Mustang GT. All right, thanks again. Take care. Bye.